2021 BMW M3 competition first test, facing the facts. Oh, that horrible nose. But can the drive experience carry the day? Any new BMW M3 is a big deal to the enthusiast car community. Forget for a moment what the car actually is and focus instead on understanding what it represents. The M3 is the souped-up, hot-rodded, better-to-drive version of the traditional ultimate driving machine, the BMW 3 Series. The 3 Series is supposed to be a driver's car right out of the box. The 3 Series after BMW's M Division performance gurus have fiddled with it? We're talking hopes and dreams here, people. While it will never be cheap, this level of M performance should be somewhat attainable. M3s tend to look pretty good, too, going all the way back to the swole-fendered, deep-chinned, B-winged AUG E30 version of the 1980s. I don't think I'll ruffle too many feathers by saying fans of fast cars want any new M3 to be handsome, fast, expensive without being exclusive, and, above all else, wonderful to drive. The all-new G80 Generation 2021 BMW M3 isn't that exact car. So, what is it? That face, it would be a dereliction of auto-scribe duty for me to go one sentence further without mentioning this car's face. It's insane. I've been staring at it online for months, and in person for more than a week. The twin, massive grille structures have not grown on me. The nostrils do not look better in person, nor have I gotten used to them. The design is ugly, isn't the word, as that's too easy. But I do have a theory about why. For the most part, when people think the front end or face of a car is good looking, they're anthropomorphizing it. That means they're projecting human qualities onto what they're looking at. Headlights as eyes and the grille as a mouth, etc. The face of the new M3, and its two-door sibling, the M4, doesn't look human. It's alien, unfamiliar, insectoid. As such, the front of the car is repulsive, meaning the opposite of attractive. Have you seen a potato bug? Also known as a Jerusalem cricket, these slimy, prehistoric, hissing, they literally hiss, abominations make my skin crawl. They repulse me. I have no way of knowing if BMW did so intentionally, but it's created a car that repulses people in the same way. If you see a G80 M3 bearing down on you, and it will be bearing down on you, you'll instinctively get out of its way. One of my favorite German words is Überholt Prestige, which means overtaking prestige, as in, when you glimpse a car in your mirror, it's using its Überholt Prestige to make you pull left and let it pass. Viewed through this particular lens, the M3's face works. That said, I don't enjoy looking at it. Is the rest of the car good to look at? No, not really. It's safe to say that this generation of M3 is a dud, design-wise. The side is a bit homely, and BMW didn't spend the money to flare the rear door skin to match the swollen rear fender. The result is an abrupt transition from door to fender that looks cheap. The rear end is generic. I suppose I should say, generic with 4 huge pipes and a carbon splitter, but it's generic all the same. What about inside? If you look closely at the interior photos, you will notice what looks to be a carbon fiber tray that sits between the thighs of either front seat occupant. Well, that's exactly what it is. That's part of the $3,800 million carbon bucket seat option. I drove a different frozen Portimao blue M3 with these seats for about 3 minutes. Just around the block to get a taste. I did not like these seats. Unlike the no doubt thin, 6.5-foot tall German engineers who designed these chairs, I'm, like so many Americans, not so tall and possessed of beefier thighs. Point is, I initially did not like the seats. Then I had to drive all the way across Los Angeles on the 405 with its perpetual, horrible traffic. 90 minutes later, I'd come to the conclusion that these carbon-backed thrones are the least comfortable I've ever sat in. And I've sat in a McLaren Senna. Then I drove the M4 competition the way it was designed to be driven, which is to say hard. Very hard, in fact. And now I believe these are the best performance seats ever fitted to a car. If they're not the actual best, then they're as good as any. These optional seats hold you perfectly in place during high-spirited license jeopardizing hoenage. For normal everyday commuting, however, they're bad. Choose wisely. The rest of the interior is very much like an M5's or an M8's, with the addition of the cruel M-drift analyzer. I held a 24-yard-long drift at a 31.6-degree angle for 3.4 seconds and the damn thing only gave me 1 star out of 4.